Hello again. I'm going live today with a collab partner of mine from Sweden. They are called DHA Horsetraining. They do a lot of very interesting things. I'm waiting for them to join me here on Instagram. We'll have a chat today with the horse Stella. Excited to let them into the room. Hang in there for a minute. Hello, Sweden.
Hello, Denmark.
Peekaboo.
You're lying down.
Okay, sorry.
There. How are you doing in Sweden?
We are fine.
It's warm here.
Warm?
Yeah.
For us,
Hey.
It has been a warm so far, so that's nice.
It's probably the climate changes, and we have people from Miami today looking at this online session.
Oh.
So I've helped you twice now. So this is the third time we're doing a telepathical session today.
That's correct.
Can you tell me about the beautiful Stella?
Stella is an Arabian mare, born 2001, and she came to us in 2014 because it was her last chance in life. They rode her 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers to our place because she had been through some severe trailer accidents, and we have been trying to heal her since then. It has been.
How is it going with the healing?
I think mentally she's rather okay now. It has been a lot of mental issues, and like 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄 you talked to Monday, she has also had some problems in her body that we have been trying to fix.
Yeah. She has pretty tough traumas through trailer accidents, some stable accidents, and so on. And it has been really tough physical traumas that even got into the psychological traumas that we have been working really hard with and try to get through. But as we expect, she has some stuff still in her back and so on.
Okay, so
we think, yeah, they can't find anything wrong with her physically. The equitherapist is saying that she's very stiff around her heart area, so we have been working with that part, but we just have a feeling that everything is not right here. So
what about the veterinarian?
Excuse me?
What about the veterinarian? What did they say?
No,
about?
They say she has healed from the injuries, but the mental part, as Mats told you about, has been very tough. So we imagine that the stuff also is in her body.
Okay.
As well.
So this is basically what you would like to know about her health issues today?
Yeah, we like to know if she is in pain and how she's feeling. Because when she came to us, she couldn't be in a stable actually because she was so anxious. And we got in touch with previous owner in 2015.
Yeah.
So we, from them, we know a lot about her background. And that helped us a lot when we started to rehabilitate her.
We got some story to lean on.
Yeah.
So that was a good start.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of
what was she used for?
From the beginning, she was at a riding school, and then she has been show jumping a lot.
Yeah. Dressage and show jumping.
Yeah. And we haven't been riding her since 2017 because we didn't get away the stress, and we thought that it had something to do with some kind or trauma. So we had from the ground since 2017 with her.
Sorry, I skipped out of the live because my phone call was calling. I had an incoming call. I didn't get what you said at the very end. Ylva, can you repeat it?
We haven't been riding her since 2017 because although we worked very hard with her stress, it kept coming back. So we thought that she has some problems with her body, although they can't find anything. And since then we have been working her from the ground only.
All right, ground. Okay, so
asked if it's genial. No, it's Stella.
Stella.
This is amazing. We're doing a live. We have people watching from Denmark and Sweden and America. So this is amazing. We're doing a live session, telepathical live session. I'll look into the eyes of Stella, and she will gonna send me emotions, pictures in front of my inner eyes, which mean I'm gonna sit like that, staring out in nothing, and to interpret what she's trying to send me. And we have Scotland represented. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Scotland.
And of course, is gonna send me thoughts, which is gonna sound like the thought of my own, but because I'm a professional, I hope, I'll gather the 3 methods of a telepathical download, and I'll say Stella says, but it's not like she's saying anything. She's just sending me a lot of energy. All right, so I've never met Stella before, so this is my first time communicating with her. And as you know, I will always look into her personality profile first, her relationship with you guys, and then we're going to go to the health issues, okay? Well, she's very accommodating in a way that she's very peaceful, in a way of welcoming me. So it's not like I welcome her, it's the other way around. And she has such a majestical energy over her. I know that you have a queen in the pack, but she almost have the personality of a queen, but it's too difficult as long as there's another queen in there. So I would call her a sensitive princess, if it makes sense to you. I ask her how she's sensitive and how she's the princess, and she says, I am the princess because I am the sensitive princess because I'm very beautiful, I'm very noble, I'm very beautiful. She says, I love working with animals because they have such high self-confidence. And I tell her, yes, I think you're beautiful as well. She says, all of you are beautiful as well. And I say, do you mean by looks or in the heart? And she says, both, but I see all human beings or souls are beautiful souls. And I ask her, what do you mean about that? And she says, well, she's like a teacher right now. She says, I don't care about the looks or the clothes you wear. I care about your soul and how it's vibrating. And even though I meet people that have abilities that are not nice, I always see the love in each and single soul I communicate with or I meet, because there is good in everybody, in all kinds of humans. I am not agreeing 100% with her, because I've met people who have psychopathical skills, but I find it very interesting that she always see the good sides in people or in human beings. So by nature, she's welcoming all sorts of people, even though she has had a bad the time before you got her, the bad experiences with her. Okay, so I'm asking her about her sensitivity, and she says, well, I'm not aware of my own strength. So at the beginning, I could be very, not afraid, but nervous about her own physical strength, if you know what she means with that. So she says, I could get scared of myself. I could get scared of my hind legs, because I could, in the beginning in my life, questioning, who did that? Oh, I did that? Okay, so she didn't have that body self-awareness. That's what she's saying, if you understand what she means. Okay. I asked her about anything else with her personality profile while I'm doing a telepathical session with her, and she says, well, that's basically it. I'm clever. I'm much more clever than you think. I'm calmer than you think. And the reason why she says that is because she doesn't want me to see her as an afraid horse, because you talked about the trailer accident or the stable accident. She doesn't want me to be biased in the communication, but wants me strictly to know who she really is, who she truly is. Okay, I asked her what she thinks about you, Ylva and Mats from Sweden. And she says, it's my two-legged mom and dad. Yes. And she says it's a family, but I could have difficulties finding the role in the pack in the beginning. It was difficult for me to figure out, do I belong here, or am I here to stay, or am I here to go? So it took her longer amount of time than normal. I don't know what's normal, to fit into the other horses. Does this make sense to you?
Yes. Sorry, tears again.
Oh, it's okay.
We actually told her one day that you're not going to move anywhere.
She has been moving around pretty much. And one day, I don't remember really when, but up till that day, she was the watch. That was the role she took. And she was the watch. She didn't rest. She didn't get any rest. So we thought about, okay, what do we have to do just to make her relax? And so we told her, you're not going anywhere. You're going to stay here. Yes.
Yeah, good.
That was it.
That's good. I love that you do that. And to all the people that are tagging in here, they do understand what we tell them. So,
yeah.
You know, some people laugh at, why are you talking to your horse? Because it understands, you know, why are you not talking with your horse?
I want them to go to the store and shop dinner for me.
Exactly. All right. So I ask her, is there anything else you would like to tell your human mom and dad. She says, don't worry too much about me because I'm a very strong horse. I'm stronger than you think. And by that, she means with the mindset and in her body. I'll get to that. But she's a tough cookie. All right, she's a tough one. I asked her about the riding school thing, show jumping and dressage in before you got her. So that has to be before 2014. I asked her if she remembers anything. She says people were dazzled about me. People were excited about me at the riding school. They thought I was beautiful, but they didn't use my potential. And she was sorry about that. She said show jumping was pretty easy at first because she had usually a horse has the motor in the hind legs and in the back, you know, in the rear end. But Stella has her motor and her engine in the front, which means she will be able to jump over houses because she has such huge show jumping capacity in the front of her body. This is also a bit of a misunderstanding in the training process, to be honest, because if you knew what you had to deal with Stella, and this is before you got her, you would help her to work more with her hind legs and put her weight to the lower back, but she'd put everything in the front. So she's pretty heavy and all gravity goes to the front of the body instead of the entire body, which also explains why she's like shocked whenever she got contact with her rear end, because I absolutely understand why it was a shock to her. Was that me? Because she didn't have the full body contact. Do you know what I mean, Ylva and Mats?
Yeah, okay. We can relate to that, definitely.
Okay, yeah, it's a huge problem with not a proper training in her hind legs and the lower back. Okay, and the dressage, she thought it was pretty boring. She says, I will do it and I will walk beautifully and I'll do the best as I can. But they never understood I have huge trouble with my balance. And now we get to the whole health issues. And when I do that, it's very important to tell people out there I'm not the veterinarian. I work energetically and only in the now. So I cannot reassure you for future health issues today because Stella doesn't know her own future, of course. Whenever I look into a horse health issue, I always look at the laterality and energy. And the laterality means a horse will have a strong side or a weaker side. And the problem with Stella is, no, it's not a problem, but she's showing me the letter S, like shock or like shock S, which means she would usually be left-handed. So usually it would be easier for Stella to work on the left bolt or bend to the left. Can you recognize this, Ylva and Mats? Yeah, all right. And that means she'll lean onto her right front leg, her weight to the right front leg over the diagonal to her left. No, sorry, from the right front leg over the diagonal to the left hind leg. But usually she would bend like a backwarded C, like, you know, making a banana like that. And then she would usually push out her left hind legs into the vault. If we worked on a left vault, she would put the left hind leg into the inner vault, if that makes sense. But she's doing the opposite. And this means she has severe balance problems inside of her. And the problem has always been her hind legs, not, you know, to gather the horse, to collect her, to try to figure out how to be collected. And then she experienced pain in the lower back. And then instead of doing like this, she did that instantly. So it's very difficult to collect Stella, because if you do that, she'll start to, you know, be frustrated in the neck to figure out what to do. You know, it's like, let go, you know, and then it gets very stressful and frustrating for Stella to work collected. What do you have to say about that, Ylva and Mats?
We can relate to this, definitely. And therefore we also have been working her only from the ground since 2017.
Okay. I need to ask you, have you ever x-rayed Stella?
We have not been doing this, but she is x-rayed before,
Several times.
as we heard.
And they never found a kissing spine problem in the lower back?
No.
No.
Okay. The reason why I ask about the kissing spine, again, it's not my job to do a diagnosis here on Stella. It's because it reminds a little bit of the motion of kissing spines or arthritis. You know, when a bone, you know, go into a bone. And when I look at it, it's the sacrum. You know what the sacrum, 𝐓𝐈𝐓𝐇 in Swedish? 𝐓𝐈𝐓𝐇.
Sacrum, do you know what that is?
Sacrum.
No.
𝐓𝐈𝐓𝐇, korslev. Okay, so the
korslev.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry to the not Danish Scandinavian speakers. We needed to do the sacrum. What is that called? Korslev. Yeah. I kind of feel like it's very, very stiff there in the lower back. And there are several reasons for this problem. The first problem is definitely her working and putting all the weight on the front, to the front legs. And if you have a horse working like that constantly, it will get pain in the lower back eventually, right? Instead of helping her do this, that would be a more natural way to do the extension, to extend the pain, right? That's the first problem. The second problem is the gear and the equipment she wore before she got to your place. She says that she had a show jumping saddle that was way too short. And I don't know if you talked about the previous owner about the constant saddle problem. But she says, because I don't know about this because I do not have a horse myself, but she says I have a very long back. So it's very difficult to do saddle fitting. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So please give away this information to your equine therapist, to work with focus on a saddle problem, because my experience is when you have a saddle problem, it's like a bruise, you know, and whenever we got bruised, all the veins and all the microscopical veins in the body will like kind of do like that. So there will be no flow in that area. And then the fascia, fascia and tissue around that vein problem will start to clutch up and cramp. And then when the fascias are cramping, the muscles are cramping. And then we have a continuous tension around this area. So you can do massage, you can do craniosacral therapy, you could do a manipulation as chiropractor, and then 4 days after she'll start to cramp up again because it's the vein. And I don't know about your equine therapist. What does she do when she helps Stella?
She has been focusing a lot of her whole body, of course.
Yes, good idea.
She's doing massage, she's doing laser, she's doing a lot of things. Vad heter det med nålar?
Yeah, acupuncture.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you says, the days afterwards, she's really fresh, and then it starts all over again.
Exactly.
But it's not been focusing on a particular area on her body, the whole body.
I think it's very important to treat the entire body when we work with horses, because the neck, when she's locked in the sacrum or korsled, she will be locked in the neck as well.
Yeah.
But as long as we have, then we work at one end and the other end. But if we don't work at the problem in the middle where the saddle is, then there cannot be the flow we want. So she'll constantly, if you loosen up the lower back, she'll just cramp up in the neck instead, So it's kind of like, are we doing it in the front or in the back, in the front or in the back? And then we can continue this game forever instead of, okay, let's loosen her up here with the old show jumping saddle. And then we have to go back to the rear end and the front and the rear end and the front. So it's a continuous job helping Stella with the flow, because it's been sitting there for a while, the whole saddle issue. Okay, so she prefers not to have equipment at all on her body.
Exactly. We work without.
Good. She's very sensitive, and it reminds her of back in the days where I had to do things, and then she can get into a robot mood. If you forces her, or I know you don't, but if somebody ever forced her or pushed her too much, she would be totally hysterical. She would go into, it would re-traumatize her, go back to what she used to do.
Yeah.
It's not more far away than it's in her nervous system. So she prefers never to experience pressure, which you don't lie on her, and thankfully for that. Okay, so she says, I have a clear vision on my right eye, but it's more difficult because I'm older to look out my left eye. And that means I'm very, very, I'm doing like this with my right eye to be able to see whatever you're doing around me. And it stresses me out if you are introducing things in front of my left eye. Have you ever noticed that it's easier, she's calmer on her right side than on the left side?
No, we always work from both sides, and she is a bit stressful where we work. So I don't think we haven't noticed that.
No.
Okay. But
yeah, or just tell her, I'm taking the brush, or I'm just taking the blanket, if you introduce it on her left side. But it's a good thing that you work on both sides, because we need the laterality to be balanced. We need her to be as strong as possible on both sides. And I am very sure that you are aware of a huge problem on her hind legs, that she's not aware of. What was that? Where did that come from? So a good advice could be to do the stimming before helping her, and to stim a sensitive horse. That would be like a firm contact with the hand over her entire body, not like that, but like that, especially on her, lower back and hind legs. And then she would like, oof, what was that? It's ticklish, but that will activate, this is your body, Stella. So it's not going to be a surprise to her. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that she's sensitive, like when you touch her on the lower back or the hind legs?
She has been very afraid in her hind legs, but that's we have been thinking about the things we have been told about her accidents, and thought it had been, like a thing from that.
Okay. But again, stimming is always helpful before touching, lifting a leg, or anything that has to do with a leg. And now we have Norway represented as well here on this live session where I'm talking telepathically with Stella. I'm asking her about other health issues. And she says, it is definitely from the saddle problem to my lower back and the hind leg. So she keeps repeating that's the area. She has problem. You said something about an equitherapist pointed out stiffness around the heart area.
In the front.
Up here.
She has been locked in here called the bringen in Danish or Swedish, but it's not a problem anymore. So it's unlocked. So that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I asked her, do you need anything else besides acupuncture, equitherapy, laser, anything? And she says, no, it's the saddle problem. You need to look more into. Okay. I asked her about the trailer accident now, if you're ready for this. And I asked her what she remembers or she would like us to know about a trailer issue. Okay, the first thing she says is she was very interested in the trailer to begin with. She was very open to where am I going? This is very exciting. So she didn't have any problems with being loaded to start with. I don't know if it's a punctured wheel or a trailer will do like that, be out of balance. But in her opinion or her experience was something tipped if it's her, and she had balance problems already, and then it feels like lying all the way on the side. It almost feels like coming down on one side, and the side she's showing me is her right side, almost like laying down. And that could be explained by a punctured wheel, a hole in the ground, or her not having balance on all four legs. Does this make any sense to you, Ylva?
We are not actually aware of the details, just that she has been stuck in the trailer. She got under boom, yes. And she has a lot of scars on her body because it has not happened only once. It has happened several times.
I think as well. And you know what, Ylva? I think the first experience she had was this one, she's telling me, because of course she'll have all sorts of skepticism to ever go into a trailer after this accident, you know. And it's not like I see a car crash on a highway or anything. It's not as dramatic as that. But it is dramatic to a horse trying to, you know, imagine loading into a trailer that's going like this underneath you, okay? And then all of a sudden it's like this while you're driving, you know. This is a huge, massive shock. And after that, I kind of sense on her, she would never ever go into a trailer. And she was so surprised because she thought this was a nice place to get in. I was very excited about going in. And this is what happened to me. Now I will never trust you again with a trailer. And then she became more skeptical, not just around a trailer, but in general, when it came to the human beings. Because they couldn't keep a promise. And she said, people usually could take me around back, you know, way, way, way back. People, human beings, could just take me. And I would tag along like a dog. I would be willing. I would be happy. I would be, okay, what do you have for me today? What do you have for me today? And after the first trailer accident, she got more skeptical around human beings and more closed down. So she changed her behavior when it came to being an open-hearted soul. And I feel so sorry about this because this is not who she is. The true Stella is like "Hi, I welcome you," and not, "Whoa, what are your intentions?" And this definitely happened after that. And then she said they could force me into a trailer. I tried to refuse it. I tried to jump on the side of the ramp before going in there, but they kept forcing me in there, and I didn't understand where I was going. I never understood where I was going, and I became stronger and stronger. So they didn't succeed at last. So the human beings had to give up on the trailer loading because she was way too wild, you know. Because it was a matter of life or death for Stella to go onto that trailer. I asked her, how are we able to heal you better or send you more love? If ever we should, try to introduce a trailer, not that you're going or driving anywhere, but just to heal your nervous system. And she says, first and foremost, the thing you told me about, I'm never gonna go away from you guys. I hope that you have a veterinarian that are able to get out to your farm, and you don't ever have to drive her into a veterinarian. Because then you would actually traumatize her one more time by loading her into a trailer to something that might be hurtful, right? That would be a catastrophe. She says, if I know that the intentions are never to be loaded onto a trailer, I'm not afraid of the trailer. So for example, if you have a trailer and you put carrots or hay out there and just stands with her, breathing, understanding, with the intention of nothing besides the coziness and the love and being in the now, in the connection with her, the trailer is no problem at all. I only see it's a problem when the human beings have the intention of loading her onto the trailer. Because if I show her a trailer, she's like, yep, there's a trailer. Like, yep, there's a car. I don't care. But I'm not going to go in it. I tell her, is there any other things you would like for us to know about healing? And she says, to do that exercise she just told you about, just standing around a trailer with a clean intention or no intention, besides the connection, she says, I'm healing you too as well, because then it will �㈭𝐕𝐄, you will find the healing, because you will watch me heal, you will watch my calmness, you will watch me not observe the trailer but observing you guys. I'm much more interested in what you think and feel about the trailer than I am, as long as I'm not being loaded onto it. So it's important that you don't clinch onto a story that it has been dreadful and awful for Stella, because I don't see her trauma as massive on a daily basis at all, even though us human beings have a understanding that it's been a horrible experience. What do you think about that? Try to let go of the experience yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no problem. What we have been doing is, we have been practicing loading without the trailer. But we can absolutely do the trailer and see what happens. We're not going anywhere, but just
just be there. Right.
Yeah.
Because it's the intention, again, as long as she never experienced pressure, she's calm. So she's kind of mirroring. You cannot lie to Stella, ever. You cannot lie to any animal, but you can definitely not lie to Stella. She's way too clever to get that. If you have a cutting machine, for example, not a scissor, but a cutting machine. If you had a cutting machine, but thought, I don't have a cutting machine, she would still go like, whoa.
I know that.
Have you seen that? Cutting machines.
Exactly. So rather just show it to her, you know, and not pretend that she's stupid and say, hey, Stella, we need to figure this one out. We need to cut your hair. So am I allowed to do it? And she'll say yes for 3 seconds at a time, for only 3 seconds at a time. And then pause. Good girl, good girl. We're going to do it again, Stella, okay? 3 seconds at a time. So she needs to be asked.
Yeah, we always have
to be included. If it makes sense, yeah?
Yeah, we work like that with her because otherwise it had not been possible to do the things we do.
No, exactly. And then she's going to be wild. She's going to let me go, you know. Yeah, of course. She's kind of like a wild horse, like a raw horse, even though she's old on paper, but she's so strong and has such strong energy. So it's very interesting that a wrong person with the pressure would never ever be able to handle her. Never. And that says a lot about you guys, that you work with her with no pressure, and then she's accepting you. She's not the easiest horse. She's the most beautiful horse, but she's not easy. And by that, I mean she has her own will, stubbornness, opinions. So you have to debate with her. You have to ask her and communicate with her. You can never say, come, Stella. She'll be like, where? Okay, so you said something about a problem, a stable accident as well?
Yeah, if I recall correctly, she had at some occasion jumped out of the box. Yeah, because in the beginning, where we had the opportunity to meet a previous owner, and they saw how she behaved in the stable. We had her with no ties, and she stood still and was very calm, and they looked at her and said, is this Stella? Is this the same horse? So
we have a loose while doing the hooves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's amazing, because you know that she needs her freedom and no pressure at all. Otherwise, she's gonna be so frustrated.
Yeah.
She says, I was in a box that was not fitting my body. It was very small, and we had a very large stable, and we had the mares in one stable, and we had the geldings in another stable. So right now she's showing me a very huge, large area with many horses. I don't know where she's located here, if it's the riding school or another owner. She's telling me the farm was red, the color red. Do you know where this is?
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna go on. Then she said that one day some of the horses ran on the field, and it feels like something went up and the horses ran. So it feels like an accident. I don't know what you call that in English, but in Danish you would say ledet gik op. You know, ledet from the stables to the field, you have locked it, and when it goes up, the horses are able to run through it, you know. And it feels like the geldings are running. So it's a very stressful situation. And then she got very hysterical about it. Also, because she didn't like to stand by herself in the stable. So she suffered from separation anxiety back then. And she still has, not a problem, but she's very aware of what other horses are doing around her. So it's very stressful to her to be separated from the pack, especially after that accident. Does this make any sense?
Yes, and we have her mentor horse here today as well to keep her calm and safe, because she doesn't like to be alone in the stable.
Oh, how well you know about her separation anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's very stressful to Stella hearing all the horses or the geldings are running in the field and people are yelling and she can't see it. She can't see it. So she was like, I have to run after them, you know, and then she'll jump over or try to jump out of the box. And that's not so good. But it's not more traumatized than that. A thing she says is be aware when it's snowy or ice, you know, when the ground has ice on it. Because of her bad balance, she's more aware of not, you know, tipping over again like she did in the trailer. So she's very, very tip on her toe, you know, when it's icy layer out there. And the same goes for water in the stable. If there's water on the ground, she'll always also be very more cautious about, can I step? Okay, I can step down. Okay, this is good, you know. So when we know for a fact that she has a lower eyesight on the left eye, it would be helpful if you told her, this is icy, this is mud, this is concrete, this is rain, this is wet. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
To help her sense before she senses it. Yeah, this is like slippery today, Stella. Is there anything else you would like to know?
Is she in pain?
It varies a lot. She says, and again, I must point out the emotion I get as arthritis, you know, in her lower back, like 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄 again. It feels like the colder it is, the more stiff she gets. And, you know, she put her hind legs under herself and walks like an old lady. But when it's warm and she's relaxed in the entire body, no, there are no pain. So I would say from a level of pain degree from 1 to 10, where 10 is the worst pain ever and 1 is no pain at all, I would say on her worst days it would be an 8, and that would require another food product, as if she has arthritis, or medicate her. So I actually would recommend you to go see a veterinarian.
Yeah.
What do you think about the information you got today?
I think it suits what we have been thinking. We have been feeling it. We see how she moves and how she reacts. That the problem has always been in her back somehow and in her hind legs. And what you have been telling us.
Yeah.
It
suits.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not that I'm I'm glad to hear that, because I never find it very nice to be correct on horses' pain. But what I do like is the information and pass it on. It's a concrete information to pass on to the equi therapist and the veterinarian. And I do not think that she suffers that much so she has to be put down or anything. You know, she's going to be an old senior horse, but probably needs help, maybe with another food product or medication.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I've been communicating with 3 of your horses, and it's been very different sessions each time. What do you think now you have experienced telepathy 3 times?
I think it's I'm kind of both fascinated and scared that you have been saying things you cannot know about. That's my first, reaction. We haven't told you anything about the horses. You have been telling us things we have never written out anywhere, so you cannot know these things. That's fascinating and scary at the same time.
Yeah.
What do you feel?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The same. I'm a scary person. No, I think, ooh, I think basically I do the same thing as you do, and this is why our collaboration makes so much sense. I have a luxurious ability of reading an animal, but I do it mentally, and you
Yeah.
have this huge gift of reading horses physically. And it's going to be my privilege to do more work with you guys, hopefully to do a clinic in Sweden and Denmark so people are able to see our collab more next year. But I'll definitely go and visit you in Sweden next year and meet all the lovely horses. And until then, we'll always stay in contact, right? We almost chat every day, and I love that.
That's wonderful, really.
Okay. Do you have anything else besides this?
What are you thinking? I'm you know, like we asked Exit if she were allowed to choose anything, you know, it could be some impossible stuff, but if she her dreams, what would she do? What would she like to do?
She's already saying it, and I'm laughing because then she would go into your bed.
Oh no, not allowed. Oh no.
Okay, we can see that, yeah.
No animal in our bed. But they can get have their own, actually.
Yeah.
But you asked, okay?
Yeah.
So she would rather eat with you at the table. She would rather get into your house and stay warm and be around you 24/7. So she's more human than she's a horse. You know, she's so dependent on you guys. So that would be her biggest wish. And I love that people are laughing here because this is super fun. Oh my God.
Can something to make it nearly.
Don't go there. Don't.
Just a minute. I'll ask her about something more realistic than going into a bed that's only 2 meters.
It's so nice to see the reaction while we are talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you sense on her?
That she was turning away when we talked about it. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah.
She was like that.
Yeah. And now she's more.
Yeah.
Okay, just a minute.
She's laughing.
Yes, I know. Oh, she has humor, all right. Actually, her biggest wish is an exit your other horse, and that's on my other Instagram profile, the live we did on Monday. Exit the other horse's biggest wish were that you were gonna publish a book, and you are writing a book and are going to find a publisher right now, or just deliver it to a publisher. So Stella's biggest wish is to make an education center. She says to have a education center where people can come in from all over the world and learn how to act around horses and act in themselves. That would be my biggest wish. And I would very much like to serve. It's a weird word, she says, but I would be your servants. I would be available. I would be there because you, Ylva and Mats, know that if a person would be stressed out, I would be stressed out immediately. So it would be a very good mirror for people to come. If they can't handle her, they cannot handle any horse at all. But as long as they can handle her, they can handle any horse in the world. So she would very much like it to be a more international academy, like academy, for students to come in and she says, be more, now we don't have COVID-19 anymore, be more open to taking in students who are on that journey, be more open, posting about what you and I, like Ylva and Mats and her, are able to help the riders with, instead of showing what you are able to do. Tell people out there how they are able to learn it themselves. Oh, Helena says, fantastisk idé, Stella. Jeg vil lære mig. She would like to know this. Okay, I think it's a good idea as well.
Yeah, she has already started to connect with people with some mental disability and so on. So she's the first one. It's pretty interesting because our students, when they come here and we are about to do some horseback archery, and when it comes to the horse part, they go out in the pasture to all of the horses, and the horses pick their humans.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And Stella, she connects with the ones who are a little bit unstable for the time. It could be one of those days, you know, when you're not on top.
I totally understand.
And she connects with them and give them some support so they can go through it. Just on the ground. And then we go further with the horse that they are going to ride that day. So
that's amazing. You're already in it. And we could do more about this, you know, to spread out the word about leadership exercises with horses. And it's already out there, but this is on a deeper level. This is a totally different level. Yeah. All right, you guys. So we have to close down our live, but I would like to thank you so much for our partnership and our collab. And I love that we get to know each other better and better as time goes. And I would like to thank all the participants. Today, I'm going to put it on my profile post, and it's going to be on my wall for other people to see this. It's been fun to have people from Scotland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and America today. Don't you think?
Let's go international.
Oh yeah. Go. You have a nice weekend, okay?
You too, and thank you so much, Ditte.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.